passive voice is frequently used in English due to its impersonality and when we want to put some emphasis on a specific part of the sentence. It always involves the verb to be and the past participle of the main verb. For example, eat, which is a verb, is turned into is eaten, which is the verb to be plus past participle. The verb to be always changes depending on the tense of the sentence and the number of the subject of the sentence. If we've got the verb take in the present simple, then it turns into is or taken in the passive. Is and are refer to the verb to in the present simple, and taken is the verb taken in the past participle. With the continuous, it would be is are being taken, and with the perfect, has have been taken. Concerning the past simple, took would turn into was were taken. Then the past continuous would be was were being taken, and the past perfect had been taken. Regarding the future with will take will turn into will be taken. Then be going to, is are going to take, would turn into is are going to be taken. With modal verbs, for example, may and should, it would be may be taken or should be taken. In a standard passive sentence, the object of the active becomes the subject of the passive. Then the verb is turned into a passive verb. The subject of the active becomes the agent of the passive. And finally, we add the complement. In a passive voice sentence, we can often omit the agent when it's not important or obvious, when we don't want to name it, or when it isn't known. For example, in America, alcohol was banned in the 20s by the government. It is obvious that the ones who make rules are the government, so it is not necessary. The window was broken by us while we were playing football. Here, the agent is not necessary because we don't want to mention the person. My wallet has been stolen by someone. We don't know the person who has done the action, so it's not necessary. But what happens when we've got an indirect object and a direct object in the active sentence? This is what we call double passive. So basically what we do is that we use the indirect object of the active as the subject of the passive. When there are reporting verbs in the sentence, so as to make the passive, we've got two special structures. So pattern 1 is it plus the passive of the reporting verb plus that and the sentence, and pattern 2 is the subject of the main verb plus the passive of the reporting verb plus infinitive of the main verb and the complement. For example, in the case of pattern 1, if we've got they say Mary has a new boyfriend now, we would say it is said that Mary has a new boyfriend now. With pattern 2, what I recommend is that you analyze the sentence by using numbers. So number 1 would be the subject. Number 2 would be the reporting verb. Number 3 would be the subject of the main verb. Number 4 would be the main verb. Number 5, the direct object. And number 6, the complements. First of all, we use the subject of the main verb, number 3, as the subject of the passive. Then we turn the reporting verb, number 2, into a passive verb. Then we turn the main verb, number 4, into an infinitive. Then we use the direct object, number 5, and finally we add the complements, number 6. But how does a verb become an infinitive? Let's explain it. The infinitive depends on the tense of the main verb. So, it can be simple if the main verb is in the present or the future, so it means to plus a verb, or it can be perfect if the main verb is in the past, which means to plus have plus past participle. And then, they can be simple, continuous, or perfect. For example, they say she's working hard is in the present continuous and turns into she said to be working hard. To be working is an infinitive which is simple and continuous. Other examples are will have worked or work, which turn into to have worked, and have worked, which turns into to have had worked. With some verbs, we need some special passive forms. For example, with make and help, in the active we've got a very infinitive, and then in the passive a to infinitive. In the case of let, in the active we've got let, and in the passive allow. And in the case of see and hear, in the active we've got a very infinitive or gerund, and in the passive a to infinitive or a gerund. The last passive structure is have and get something done. This structure is used to express that someone does something for you. And we need a subject plus a get and have in any tense plus an object plus past participle. For example, I had my haircut yesterday, she's going to get her camera repaired, or I'm having my house painted at the moment. So this is the end. I hope that now you understand everything about the passive voice in English.